Beginning transmission.
This is the audio log of Dr. Cool, O5 Command, as well as Supreme Commander of Mobile Task Force 023, aka the Kitchen Sink. Hello, everyone. Now, I understand that teaching is a very, very important part, both in civilian life as well as here in the SCP Foundation. Education is what keeps the world moving, I believe. However, when it comes to this SCP's determination of what to teach, it can literally kill you. So just be forewarned if any of you have assigned to this SCP. The SCP in question is SCP-606. I would put it more with the fact if it'd be SCP-666, since this thing sounds like an utter fucking demon. But, nevertheless, let us continue with our audio file today, and I hope that many of you that are assigned this SCP will take this knowledge into consideration. Item number SCP-606. Object Class Euclid. Keter classification is under review. Of course, everyone knows who has put this classification in place. Moi. Anyway, Special Containment Procedures. SCP-606 is currently housed in its own will in a unfurnished 20 meter by 25 meter times 8 meter cell at site, the entrance to which is sealed by two 25 centimeter steel blast doors on either side of an airlock. No personnel are to enter SCP-606's containment chamber except under controlled testing circumstances or with authorization from a staff member of Level 4 clearance or higher. Standard positive action defenses, explosive, chemical, biological, and metic, are to be in place at all times, according to standard operation procedure. Due to SCP-606's non-cooperational nature, no reliable security measures in case of a containment breach have been developed at this time. In the event of such a breach, all personnel should refer to Plan ETA-6. Through the use of a mobile remotely operated device, SCP-606 is to be provided with an ordinary USB flash storage device containing no less than 2 megabytes of data every 12 hours. The data contained on the device is to be left to the discretion of SCP-606's supervisor, but text from classic literature or encyclopedias, movie clips or audio files, or historical speeches are ideal. In an emergency situation, this may be substituted with data in any form, such as print, compact discs, or videotapes. A careful record of all data provided to SCP-606 must be kept. SCP-606 should not be given repeated information except in an emergency situation. No material pertaining to the Foundation should be provided to SCP-606 under any circumstances. Now, description. SCP-606 appears to be a spherical mass of light of variable size and intensity. Most commonly, it is approximately 85 centimeters in diameter and emits 220 candelas of luminosity, but has been observed to grow up to 10 meters in diameter and emit over 100,000 candelas. SCP-606 has also been observed to shrink to 4 centimeters in diameter, emitting less than 0.5 candela. Despite its ability to emit larger amounts of light, SCP-606 emits no heat. It does not appear to be composed of any form of matter and is able to pass through material barriers effortlessly. It is presently theorized that SCP-606 is an entity comprised purely of knowledge or information, and information obtained from SCP-606 itself appears to corroborate this. Furthermore, SCP-606 appears to derive substance from information, growing in both size and luminosity. When provided with sources of information, it is aforementioned maximum size, and shrinking when it is deprived of this. It is capable of feeding off a large number of direct sources, including digital devices, books, magnetic tape, and living beings, which simply involves SCP-606 surrounding the object. This process does not appear to affect its sources in any way. Digital media stored on flash drive is used in the maintenance of SCP-606, so the specific details as well as approximate size of all information provided to SCP-606 may be easily recorded. The specifications of SCP-606's maintenance listed above have been formulated through both discussion with SCP-606 and prolonged observation. SCP-606 appears to hold a preference for classic literature, for example, and the given amount has been observed to keep SCP-606 at its normal size and luminosity. SCP-606 is sapient, apparently self-aware of all knowledge it has gained over its existence, and capable of intelligent communication. It has accomplishes this by producing more sine waves tones through an unknown mechanism. This has been refined through teaching SCP-606 a tone-based language system of the Foundation's own invention, which all personnel of Level 2 or above assigned to SCP-606 are required to learn. If another sapient individual enters SCP-606's containment cell, it will attempt to enlighten them, to use SCP-606's own words. This involves SCP-606 moving to surround the being's head, or similar equivalent. This result is generalized tonic-clonic elliptic seizures for a period of 30 seconds to 5 minutes, after which the individual lapses into a coma followed by death. EEG monitoring of affected individuals during this process show a massive increase of activity of all brain waves, particularly gamma and beta type waves. It is presently theorized that this is the result of SCP-606 attempting to transfer all the information it has gathered to the individual's brain through an unknown process, despite the normal human being unable to sustain the stress of such a procedure. Results of interviews with SCP-606 have been mixed, although it has previously designated to answer some basic questions about itself and its history. Any more in-depth questions on the topics it possesses knowledge of inevitably result in a request by SCP-606 to enlighten the interviewer and a refusal to answer further questions. Results made to SCP-606 to refrain from attempting to enlighten without permission have been particularly compelled, with SCP-606 no longer tries to enlighten every individual it comes across into contact with, but it still has a sporadically tried to perform the process without prompting. For this reason, access to SCP-606 cell is restricted. SCP-606 was discovered by the Foundation on June 11th of 19 in France, after a rash of missing person reports was brought to the Foundation's attention. Personnel subsequently managed to lure SCP-606 into a transport vehicle and transfer it to its current facility by offering it D-Class personnel to enlighten. Once its non-cooperative nature was discovered, SCP-606 was asked why it did not attempt to evade capture. Its reply was that it wished to see what would occur. As SCP-606 is able to pass through all forms of matter, it presumably stays in Foundation custody of its own free will, perhaps due to the constant supply of information that is provided to it. Addendum 606-1. Complex communication with SCP-606 was made possible on February 4th, 20, when doctors and completed their work on the aforementioned tone-based language. Details of this language was transcribed into normal writing paper, and left in SCP-606's containment cell. An excerpt from SCP-606's first interview follows, conducted from a secure monitoring room over microphone. SCP-606 is capable of understanding normal human speech, and thus Doctor's commentary is transcribed into English. I shall begin the audio log now.
Can you understand me?
Yes.
How did you learn to do this?
I listen.
Could you tell us what you are?
I am a teacher.
Could you be more specific?
I am the teacher. I am a purveyor of knowledge. Enter this chamber, and I shall enlighten you.
I do not wish to do that at the moment. May I ask you some more questions?
I provide the answers.
So, how old are you?
I am as old as is necessary.
Could you explain what you mean by that?
These sounds you have taught me are limited. I may only enlighten you directly.
How do you enlighten people?
I teach them.
Are you aware this causes your students to die?
I do not call it death. It is the consequence of being inadequate.
What do you teach?
I teach all that I have learned.
Do you know who I am?
You are that which calls itself a human. Your fellows refer to you as Doctor.
Do you know what a doctor is?
It is your word for one who has been taught and teaches. In your own fashion, at least.
Can you teach me through talking to me?
I wish to enlighten you. If you do not wish to be enlightened, then I have no use for you.
And there we go. Now, at this point, of course, in the audio log, SCP-606 halted the interview and refused to answer any further questions for some days from Dr. Subsequent interviews have gained little more information of significance on SCP-606 or the subjects it claims to know about. Addendum 606-2. After viewing the reports on 606, in particular Experiment 606, Dr. Major became increasingly suspicious that the deaths of its students are not accidental. The possibility that it has some benevolent purpose, completely independent of its teachings, cannot be discounted. As Dr. Major has said, yes, everybody says that it is just trying to teach people, but all we know is that it causes them to kneel over and die. No solid evidence for it actually being what we think it is has been uncovered. We don't even have any way of stopping this damn thing. Countermeasures research should be on top priority for Section, in collaboration with 606 staff group. As Dr. Major has mentioned, a Keter upgrade must be taken into consideration. I actually had the well-spotted time to speak with Dr. Major. He consulted me with it with my other colleagues of the O5 Council, and since I am the best Keter researcher here in the Foundation, I completely agreed with it, and managed to influence my colleagues as well in also considering the decision. It is being continued, left up for review, with much positive results. Now, I believe that is all the time that I have for today, and I hope that this has gained much insight and knowledge into this. Anyway, this is Dr. Cool, O5 Command, signing out.
Hello, everyone. SCP-606 here, and it has been a proven fact through many of my viewings here on this channel of YouTube, as well as other channels, that many people of your types, Homo sapiens or humans, usually click the like and subscribe button if they like videos. It is prompted to give more necessary videos to feed their knowledge of entertainment. So, how about you all be nice students and do that.